Lovely. So let's start today. What was I going to do? I was going to start kneeling. So we start kneeling. If you have a cushion, if you have a brick or something that you want to put under your bottom, or a stack of things, just so you're not squidging your feet too much, then that'd be lovely. I'm just going to rest the hands on the legs for the moment. Close your eyes. Take a nice full breath in through the nose, sighing out of the mouth. Maybe do that a couple more times if that feels nice. And just letting your breath settle to a natural pace, letting it do its own thing to start with. And making a little mental note of what that is. What is your breath like this morning? Noting any other sensations that relate to your breath, maybe the movement of your body. Then maybe starting to sit up a little taller, have a little wriggle if you need a little wriggle. I'm going to start to draw that breath deeper down into the belly. So if you want to place your hands on your belly so you can feel your breath a little bit more, you're more than welcome to. So as you start to slow down your breath, breathe deeper. You think about breathing into your hands. Letting each inhale expand the belly, pressing into the hands. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed as you do this. Notice if there's any tension in them. And keep breathing into the belly, but slide the hands around, so sort of under your armpits on either side of your rib cage. So keeping that breath going into the belly, but also thinking about pressing into the hands as you breathe in as well. So expanding the ribs out to the side. Try and keep that deep breath. Keep that nice strong breath into the belly and to the sides of the ribs. You can release the arms down by the sides for a moment, keeping the breath going. When you're ready, just gently dropping the right ear down towards the right shoulder. If you want to add on at all, then you can just slide that left hand off your thigh, let it hang down by your side. Still sitting up nice and tall. Nice big breaths. If you want to add on to the stretch in your neck further still, and take the right hand, just rest it on the side of your head. You're not pulling down on the head, just letting that weight hang there. It's completely optional. If your neck was feeling tight and without any kind of extras, then just stay there. One more breath here, then we're gently going to release the different elements. So we're going to take the hand off the top of the head first, if it's there. And we're going to bring the left hand back onto the thigh. Finally, we're going to drop the chin down to the chest. Sitting up tall and thinking about reaching the chin sort of forward and down. So lengthening the neck as the chin reaches for the chest. Try to keep the shoulders broad as you do this. And then use an inhale to lift the chin back up. We'll do the other side. So breath nice and tall. And then using an exhale to drop the left ear down to the left shoulder. So things might feel different on this side. You might take a different version, different variation. Just keeping that ear dropped. If you want to add on, then that right hand can slide off. Still sitting tall. Nice deep breaths. And then again, option to take the left hand to the side of the head, let it rest there. If that feels like too much, if there's any kind of discomfort around the neck, then don't worry about adding that on at all. Nice, steady breaths. Releasing the hand first. And taking the right hand back onto the thigh. And then again, dropping the chin down to the chest and reaching forward through the neck. Nice and long, sitting up tall, broad shoulders. Use an inhale to lift the chin back up, sitting nice and tall. The eyes can stay open or closed and keep working on the neck a little bit. On an exhale, we're going to turn the head as though we're looking over the right shoulder. Use an inhale to come to center. And the next exhale to look over the left shoulder. So you're going to keep turning the head, using the inhale to bring the head forward and the exhale to turn. So keep the breath steady. So you can slow down the movement so that it becomes fluid, so that you're moving as you're breathing. Everyone's going to be at a slightly different rhythm, slightly different pace. Just notice how the head and neck and shoulders feel as you're twisting. Don't take it into any space that feels sort of strong or uncomfortable. We'll tackle those other bits hopefully in a little while. Okay, one more pair of loving looks over your shoulder. Last side will be the left. And then coming back to the center. Move on to the shoulders. So you're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears as high as they will possibly go. On an exhale, you should slide the shoulders down towards the ground. So you're pressing the shoulder blades down the back, keeping that going. So inhale to slide all the way up, and exhale to slide all the way down. Do 3 more. After your final one, you give the shoulders a little roll if they feel they need it. And then we're going to reach the arms out in front of us. I'm just going to turn because I think it's a little bit easier if you can see me sideways. So I'm going to explore the different movements through the shoulders. So I'm just going to start with the arms reaching out, palms facing each other, shoulders kind of in their normal position. So you're going to inhale to squeeze them up. On the exhale, you're going to slide the fingertips forward. So you're separating the shoulder blades. Then you're going to slide the shoulders down. Keep reaching forward. And then the final breath, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. So the fingertips come back. And we're going to keep that sort of little box going. So inhale to squeeze up. Exhale to slide forward. Inhale to press down. And then coming back, squeezing the shoulder blades. So keeping that going, following your breath. Imagine you're drawing a box with those fingertips. Do one more box in this direction. So the next time you come down and back, we're going to go back the way we came. So you're going to keep the shoulders down but slide forward. Lift up. And then squeeze the shoulder blades back. So keeping that going. Trying to keep the arms nice and straight. Trying to keep the spine straight as well. Let's do 2 more boxes. Last one. And relax. Give the arms a little shaky shake. You're going to inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. You're going to interlace the fingers, press the heels of the hands up towards the ceiling. So have a little wriggle, have a little stretch. Any little shapes you need to do. Sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to take the fingers to the base of the skull, elbows nice and wide, long spine. On an exhale, we're going to bring the elbows together as we roll down and forward. Inhale to lift back up, elbows coming nice and wide again. So exhaling to make yourself into a tiny little ball. And inhale to bring yourself all the way up. Exhale to roll down. Inhale to lift up. So trying to keep the spine straight when you come up, rather than coming into a back bend. Lovely. Lovely. 2 more. Releasing the arms down, giving them a little shake if they need it. And then we're going to come, swing our legs around and come and sit on our bums. So if you still want to be a bit supported with a brick or a folded blanket or a bolster, you're more than welcome to. You're going to grab your strap. Last little bit on the shoulders for now. So we're going to just rest the strap over the thumbs to start with and kind of pinch the movement, grip around it. We're going to slide the thumbs along. I would start with arms wider than your shoulders, unless you know you're super flexy. And if you find you haven't got enough space as we come into this, then slide the fingers further along so you've got more space. It'll make more sense when we start moving if you haven't done this one before. If you have trouble, we're going to take the arms up and over. If you have trouble doing the over bit, then just work on the up and down and pressing the arms as far back as you can. Does that make sense? So we're going to try and keep the arms straight and the strap taut throughout that movement. So sitting tall, using an inhale to reach the strap up overhead and an exhale to bring the arms down behind you. So that's when you might need to slide the hands further apart. Inhale to lift up and exhale to come forward. So arms and straps staying nice and straight. Inhale to lift up. Exhale back. Keeping this going. So the more you do it, the more space you might find in your shoulders even. So you might want to pop the strap down again, pick it up again, see if you can change the position, but up to you. Work with what you've got, see how things are feeling. Last pair. So the next time you bring the strap down in front of you, you can let it go. Have a little wriggle again if you need one. We're going to use an inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. And we're going to exhale to fold forward. So just fold as far as you're comfortable to come down. Think about crawling the hands away from you, reaching the chest forward, just trying to keep the back kind of nice and long so we're getting into the hips a little bit. Keep breathing nice and deep. Use your next inhale to walk the hands back towards you, lifting yourself up. You're going to switch the cross of the ankles. Use another inhale to sweep the arms up high again, and exhale to fold forward again. So it might feel different on this side. See how you go. Last breath down here. Use an inhale to walk the hands back towards you again, lift yourself up, and then we're going to come over onto all fours. So if you're sitting on something, just pop it to one side. And give the wrists a little bit of attention. So with it starting in your tabletop, you're just going to draw circles around the wrists with your shoulders. Think about pressing through the fingertips and the knuckles. Don't forget about your thumb as well. So the muscles in your hand, your lower arm are working while you give them a little bit of a stretch. Just making the circles as big or as small as you feel comfortable. One more in this direction. And then going back the other way, nice and steady. I'm just going to sit back on the heels for a moment. You're going to make two fists. Press the flat part of your fists into each other. You're going to keep pushing them really firmly into each other. You're going to lay the backs of your hands and your forearms on the ground. You're going to press the fist down into the ground as you lift the elbows away as far as they will come comfortably. So keep pushing the fists into each other and the back of the hand down into the ground. Adjust the stretch with the position of your elbows. Breathing nice and steady. Lovely. One more breath. And gently release. Give the hands a little wriggle, fingers a little wriggle. See how they feel. And then we're going to come back to our tabletop. We're going to take the hands a little further forward. Take the shoulders with you so you've got a slightly longer base. And we're going to do swooping cat-cow. So you can have your feet flat. You can have the toes tucked a little bit. That can help to sometimes stretch your feet out a little bit as your bum comes back. So get those shoulders over the wrists to start with. Gripping with your fingers, pressing down with the knuckles. Nice, solid position. As you exhale, you're going to arch the back, let the head drop and sit your bum back towards your heels. As you inhale, you're almost going to skim the ground with your chest, elbows stay close and low to the ground, and then pressing up at the front. And exhale, rounding the back, sitting on the heels. Inhale to skim the chest forward, lifting up at the front. Keeping that going. Taking your time. Do one more after the one you're on. And then reset in a tabletop. So bring the hands a little closer. Hips roughly over the knees, shoulders roughly over the wrists. Making sure you can press down into the ground so that the shoulders, the hands are working for you. A nice long spine, so make sure their knees aren't too close or too far away. So your spine's got lots of space. You're going to move into the hips now. So we'll start with the left knee. Just going to lift it off the ground. Draw some little circles with the knee. Starting to move into that hip. See how it feels. If it feels all right, then you can maybe let those circles grow bigger and bigger. Make them as big as you're comfortable to make them. And then switch directions. One more. Bring the knee back down. Same on the other side. When you're ready, small circles with the right knee. Testing the water, seeing how things feel this morning. And then letting that grow as big as it's comfortable to go. And then switching directions. 2 more circles. And bringing the knee back down, sitting your way back to a child's pose. Any version that feels good, knees together, knees apart, hands supporting your face or reaching forward, or maybe they rest either side of your thighs, nice and heavy. Focusing back in on your breath. When you're ready, coming back up to a tabletop. So we're going to come into a little side plank here. It's variation. There'll be a few options for you. So we're going to start from our tabletop. You're going to keep your knees where they are for the moment, but you're going to take that right foot and you're going to spin it out to the side so that it becomes in line with your 2 knees. Then you're going to start to tip the weight onto the right side, so you're stacking the body over the right hand and knee. Straighten the left leg down the mat behind you and reach the right hand up to the sky. Lovely. So if that bottom wrist is a little bit tired, if it feels like it's had too much, you can make it into a fist. Just make sure that the arm is stacked nice and neatly above that fist, so you're not doing weird things with the wrist. Flexing through the left foot, reaching up through the left hand. So using the right hand to press down and help lift open the chest. I'm going to do 3 big circles. Then we're going to do 6 circles with the top hand. We're going to start by exhaling to bring the hand overhead and down in front of us. Use the inhale to lift back up. Try and keep the back still as you move the arm. So exhaling to bring the arm overhead and forward. Lovely. Inhale to reach back up. Last one in this direction. And then 3 in the opposite way. So trying to use a full breath to complete each circle. Ending up reaching for the sky again. Find a nice strong position, and then we're going to reach the left hand overhead with the palm of the hand facing down to the ground. So lovely. So trying to keep the back and the leg against an imaginary wall. Nice and flat. Hopefully there's a stretch there through the left side of the body somewhere for you. Keep breathing nice and deep. You can stay here. If you want to add on, then start to float your left foot away from the ground. It's completely optional. If you're enjoying that side stretch, stay there, enjoy it. One more breath. And then exhale to take yourself back to your tabletop. Give the wrist a little release if it needs it. This time in the tabletop, just in between those 2 movements, we're going to draw some circles with our bottoms. So you're going to try and keep your spine still and just draw a little circle with your bum. You're just moving the hips. Everything else is staying as still as it possibly can. If you're good at isolating movement there and you're feeling fancy, you might want to try drawing figure 8 shape, infinity symbol, whatever you want to call it. One more circle going this way, and then switching direction. Lovely. Two more circles. And then we'll tackle the other side. So from your tabletop, this time twisting that left knee so the foot comes out to the side in line with your two knees, bringing the weight over onto the left. Right hip stacks on top of the left one and the leg goes out straight. Nice strong flex through that foot, arm reaches up. Keep pressing away with the bottom hand so there's space around that shoulder and neck. 3 big circles overhead first, using a full breath, trying to keep the back nice and flat against that imaginary wall. And then reversing your circles, 3 going the opposite way. Ending up reaching for the sky, nice and broad through the chest, using that bottom hand to help press down through the fingers. Use an exhale to reach the right hand overhead, palm of the hand facing down. Nice big stretch to the side of the body. Nice deep breath. Option to lift that right flexed foot away from the ground, hovering it. If you're enjoying the stretch with the foot down, then stay there. Don't forget to use that left hand. One more breath. And use an exhale to bring yourself back to your tabletop and find your way back to a child's pose again. Any version that feels good. One more breath in your child's pose. And then bringing yourself back up to tabletop just as a transition pose. We're going to get off those wrists. So we're going to do the right side first. If you imagine there's a little bollard or something next to your right hip, you're going to bring the knee up and over it so you can step the right foot outside the right hand. If it needs a bit of help, give it a bit of help. And then we're going to lift ourselves up so we're in this nice wide lunge position. And then inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. We're going to come into a little flowing twist. So we're going to exhale, twist to the right first. So you can bring the arms down if that feels good. Use an inhale to bring yourself back to center. And then exhale to twist left. So try and keep the base solid, so the hips stay exactly where they are. Keep that twist going. So each inhale lifts up and each exhale finds a twist. Thinking about moving from the waist up. And the next time you come to the right, we're going to hold there. So you've got options. You can keep your hands on your body and focus on finding that twist. Or you can reach, if you've got the twist and you're feeling fancy, you can reach the arms forward and back. Keep pressing through both feet and maybe sort of squeezing the thighs together to keep that base. Nice deep breaths. Lovely. One more here. I'm gonna inhale, sweep the arms to face forward as we stop as we face forward. Exhale, take the hands down in front of you. And then inhale to take the right knee back to its starting position. Have a little wriggle at the hips if that feels good. And then when you're ready, inhale to step that left foot forward. And that connection with the ground. And lift yourself up into your wide lunge again. Lovely. So thinking about pressing down through both feet and almost like you're squeezing the thighs together so you've got this nice solid base. Notice where your hips are. Use an inhale to sweep the arms up high. Exhale to twist to the left first. Inhale, center. And exhale, right. So keeping this going. Trying to keep those hips facing forward throughout. Thinking about moving from the waist up. So the next time you come down to the left, we're going to hold there. So again, same options. Hands on the body, so front hand on the knee, back hand on the lower back. Long spine, finding your twist. Keep pressing through both feet, keeping the hips facing forward. Option to reach the arms forward and back. See if you can gaze over that back shoulder. If your breath feels compromised at all, then take it back a step. Find somewhere where your breathing is still full, nice and easy. Last one. Use an inhale to sweep the arms up as you face forward. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, left knee goes back where it came from. And then back to your child's pose again. When you're ready, gently lift yourself up. And we're going to come down onto our backs. Bring one of your bricks with you. The knees bent, soles of the feet down. We're going to take our brick. We're going to set up for some pelvic tilts and bridges. We're going to have a little play with some of those, do a few sets. So try and get your heels close to your bum to start with, unless you know you need to take a modification. What you're trying to do is get your ankles under your knees. So notice where your knees are. They're probably not together. And grab your brick and put it on whichever setting sort of fits roughly between your knees, and then squeeze your brick. I'm going to keep squeezing that brick and holding it there. So we're going to start with pelvic tilts. We're going to do 5. So see how it feels. See if you can make each one a little bit taller, higher than the last one. But if you're not feeling strong and if you want to just keep it easy, keep them small. So think about pressing down through the whole sole of your foot. Don't forget your big toe. And when you're ready, use an exhale to allow that sensation, that movement to move into the hips. Let your hips peel away just a little bit. And then use an inhale to roll the spine bit by bit back down onto the ground. Feet can release. Keep squeezing your brick. Exhale to press through the feet, let the hips lift up. Maybe they come a little higher this time. As you inhale, rolling the spine bit by bit back down, releasing. 3 more, so follow your breath. Exhale to lift and inhale to roll. When you've done your 5, take your brick away and give yourself a little bit of release. So for some people, moving the legs side to side feels good. Some people, hugging the knees into the chest feels good. Just have a little play. See what feels nice to kind of counter that effort, that movement. I'm going to do 2 more rounds of 5 breaths. So it's up to you how you use those 2 rounds. So we have 3 options. You can keep working on your pelvic tilts, taking it nice and slow, building up that strength. If you want to come into a sort of Pilates style bridge where you're lifting the hips to the middle, so you've got a line from shoulders to knees, the hips nicely in the middle, you can do that. If you want to, you can also go for a yoga bridge where you try to press the hips up even higher. Maybe the shoulders come together underneath you. So any one of those 3, you've got 2 rounds of 5, so you might want to split it up a little bit. So feet reset, brick back between the knees, squeezing your brick. And when you're ready, 5 breaths, whichever of those you choose. So doing the movement nice and deliberately, keeping the breath steady, under control. And keep squeezing your brick. After your first 5 breaths, removing your brick again, giving the hips a little wiggle, whatever you need, a little release. And then setting up for your final round. Brick back between those knees, another little squeeze. When you're ready, 5 last breaths in this set. And keep using the whole foot, whichever one you're going for. When you're ready, releasing, removing your brick, having a wriggle again. So you can pop your brick to one side, don't need it anymore. Then taking the feet back to where they came from, the heels can shuffle a little bit further away if that feels comfortable. I'm going to use an inhale to reach the right foot up to the sky, press out through that heel a little bit, and then we're going to cross the right ankle just above the ankle joint, so it's on the bone over the left knee. You can use the right hand to Help open up the front of the right hip a little bit, just give it a little nudge, a little massage. But think about starting to press that right knee away from you as well, so it's nice and active. If you're feeling a stretch here, you can stay here. If you want to sit up, grab your left shin or thigh, lie back down. Make sure that your head, neck and shoulders are supported. So if you can't make it all the way back down, whack a cushion, a pillow or something under there. Keep the right foot flexed, keep pressing that right knee away. Use your left leg to adjust the intensity of the stretch. So let the left leg drop further away from the body to ease off and draw it further into the body to build on top. We're not looking for anything strong, just keeping it simple. One more breath here. Use an exhale to release the left foot back down to the ground. Use an inhale to lift the right foot back up to the sky. That'll stretch, press through the heel, and then release the right foot to the earth. Left side's turn. On an inhale, left foot reaches up, pressing out through that heel. Nice strong flex in the foot as you cross the ankle over the right knee, pressing the left knee away from you. So again, giving yourself a little massage, a little help at the top with the left hand if you feel you need to, or if you just like how it feels. And then when you're ready, if you need to grab the right leg, please do. Lying back down, nice and supported under the shoulders and the head so they can relax. Still pressing that left knee away from you, keeping that left foot active. Nice, steady breaths. One more breath. Use an exhale to release that right foot to the ground. Use an inhale to lift the left foot back up. Another little press through the heel, little stretch. And then bringing the left foot back down to earth. Going to take a twist. I'm going to give you options with your twist. So option one, shuffling the feet a little wider than the hips. You're going to keep the feet on the ground. Drop the knees down to the right. There's a little bit of a twist through the spine, but there's also a little bit of a stretch through the front of the hip. So if you want to go for that one, if that feels nice today, then go for it. Another option is to take the arms wide along the ground, hug the knees up into the chest, and then drop them to the right, keeping that left shoulder down if you can. Noticing any weight in the hip joints, in the knee joints, any gaps between your knees or the ground beneath. So you can plug those gaps with a brick or a cushion so that your joints and everything are nice and supported. So that whichever twist you've gone for, you can relax. You can let your body start to feel soft and heavy. Focus on that breath. Still sending it into the belly, still sending it into the sides of the rib cage. One more breath. And nice and slowly bringing the knees to the center before you take them over to the left. And one more breath. Gently bring the knees into the chest this time. Give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. And find your way to your Shavasana. So if you need props, grab props. If it's chilly in your living room, so the sun has gone away, grab a blanket or a jumper, pop that on. Make sure you're nice and comfortable as you're lying still. And traditionally, legs are a little way apart, just as far apart as they need to be to allow your feet to flop in a comfortable direction. No effort involved. And traditionally, the palms of the hands face up to the sky. So again, find your arms somewhere where it's easy and comfortable to just rest them alongside you on the ground. Taking a nice full breath into the lungs, nice and slow. Filling everything up, every last bit of room in your lungs, and then a long sigh out of the mouth, letting everything go. Repeating that if that feels good. With each breath, allowing your body to feel softer, to feel heavier. Maybe taking a moment to run a body scan from the crown of your head down to the soles of your feet, the tips of your fingers. Noticing how each part of you feels. Seeing if you can relax and soften as you scan through. Noticing the ground beneath you, the support it offers you. Letting yourself sink into that sensation and rest. starting to notice sounds in the room around you. Starting to notice the smells, the sensation of the air against your skin, your clothes, blankets, anything else that's touching you. Starting to take a deeper breath. Notice how your body feels as it responds to it. Allow yourself to start moving again, taking any shapes that feel good or that feel needed. When you're ready, draw the knees up into your chest. Roll over onto whichever side you find most comfortable. Keeping the body soft, eyes closed, nice and relaxed. From there, using your hands to start to push yourself up towards a seated position. Any comfortable seated position is good. Take any stretches, wriggles, sighs, anything you need as you get there. And find a little bit of stillness. Let your hands rest on your legs, over your heart, or in prayer. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming along this morning, for doing the work, for taking care of yourself. Taking a moment to thank each other for coming together, for sharing this practice. And I'd like to invite you to think of someone or something that you have felt particularly grateful for this week. And rubbing the hands together, getting them as warm as you possibly can. Cupping the palms of your hands over your eyelids and taking a moment to notice all the different sensations you experience as you do that. And when you're ready to face the world, take a nice full breath. Start to blink open your eyes and take your hands away from your face. Thank you very, very much for coming and practicing with me. I don't have any news, so have a lovely Sunday, have a lovely week. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Otherwise, fun. See you later.